How's it going, YouTube? This is Vaughn, and I'm here for another open discussion. Today, I want to talk a little bit about manhood. What is manhood? The definition of manhood is the state of being a man rather than a child. Childhood, as we know, is a period in life where you must be nurtured by parents or parent figures. Once you enter manhood, the reliance on your parent becomes less and less. Throughout history, men entered adulthood by completing tasks that were designed by other men to prove your usefulness to the community, which means that you couldn't just get up and say, oh, I'm a man. No, you had to prove that you were useful to the community at large. The development of one's manhood was cultivated mainly by one's father. The process worked seamlessly because fathers had to go through the same process as their sons prior. The women in the family play a part, but nowhere close to that of a father in developing a man. Now, to prove your manhood, say like during the caveman era, you had to go out with the clan, you had to hunt, you had to protect the community, you had to lay down your life for your community. The protection of the community was of paramount importance because the community consisted of families. Now, a man entered manhood after many trials and errors. The many mistakes that a man makes helps to build him in character, and he gains wisdom as long as he learns not to repeat the same mistakes. Now, what happens to the young male child when the father is absent? Today's society is attempting to tell us that one-parent household is the same as two-parent households because studies have shown that children fare better when there are two parents. This is a fact. I spoke about the pros of having a father present in a young woman's life in another video. And some people may question, is it possible for a single mother to raise a young man into proper adulthood? The answer is yes, but it's few in between. Depression and hardship that she will endure is huge because the vast majority of families that are facing financial hardship come from single-parent households. The vast majority of those incarcerated come from single-parent households. And it has been proven that involved fatherhood is linked to better outcomes on nearly every measure of child well-being, from cognitive development, educational achievement, self-esteem, and most importantly, pro-social behavior. Men are typically charged with showing other young men proper social behavior. The lack thereof leads to what we're experiencing in certain neighborhoods now, where these young men at very young ages, even down to the age of 12, are going around robbing people, they're committing murder, they're shooting, they're killing, and this can be linked to the absence of fathers. We tend to look towards the government to help us fix our problems, but we have to look at the problems that we could personally deal with, such as trying to create stronger families and keeping two-parent households. Try to make two-parent households a norm in our community. By doing so, men can show other men that manhood consists of sacrifice. There is nothing selfish about manhood. There is nothing toxic about manhood. The black community is struggling right now because of the breakdown of families. The young men have nothing to fight for because they are being told that they have no value outside of providing an extravagant lifestyle. The good men or men of moral values tend to leave certain neighborhoods because they're told that the drug dealer or the artists, the rappers, the entertainers have more value than your average or above average hardworking black man. The communities that have a high rate of absent fathers are failing miserably. We tend to blame it on systematic racism and low unemployment. But we have to start looking into our family structure. The communities that are failing have black leaders. We've had a black president. We now have a black vice president. But what's really changing for us as far as a community? During the civil rights era, family was the main focus. We were bonded together by a common cause. And there was a strong emphasis on family and accountability. We did not strive to become millionaires, but instead emphasized the development and creation of a thriving community. So in closing, if we really want to turn this thing around and strengthen our communities, the men in the communities have to be included. We can't tell our women that being a single mother is something that's great. Of course, there are going to be situations where it's not going to be helped, but we can't try to normalize that. We have to make the push to start creating stronger families and start teaching our young that the ways of the past, which we've been going, is not right. It will not lead to anything good within the black community. And we have to push for not legislation, but the creation of strong two-parent households. That's the only way we're going to get out the predicament that we're in now. Every other community that's thriving in the United States knows that, and they push for that. So when are we as Black America going to start doing that? We can't rely on our government. They're not going to help us. We can't rely on our black mayors or our black councilmen. They're not going to help us. It's our mindset that we're going to have to change in order to create this utopia of blackness. So in closing, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as this community grows, I want to start including people into the conversation so I can get a different take on how people feel about the topics that are being brought up. Have a good day.